European Central Bank, or maybe, Marcus, the lack of action.
Yes, we are, Mark. Hi there, everyone. The European Central Bank held its monthly rate-setting meeting on Thursday, and it kept its benchmark interest rates steady at 0.25%. At the same time, Mario Draghi said that the ECB is ready to take action if need be to boost the Eurozone economy. Now, Draghi, he spoke as inflation has slipped for the past couple of months. It's currently far below the ECB's own target rate of 2%, and there are fears that deflation could hurt the Eurozone economy. Draghi hinted that the ECB is ready to stimulate the economy by buying government bonds like the Federal Reserve has done in the United States, but he's not ready to bring out that bazooka just yet.
We do not exclude further monetary policy easing, and we firmly reiterate that we continue to expect the ECB interest rates to remain at present or lower levels for an extended period of time.
Now, that was Mario Draghi saying that he is ready to take action against deflation if need be. For more on Draghi's message, I spoke to Ishak Siddiqui earlier, a market strategist at ETX Capital in London, and he says the ECB doesn't seem to be too worried about deflation at this moment.
I think it's Mario Draghi being a fantastic wordsmith again, really using the art of language to quell a lot of the market's nerves and worries about the risk of deflation. It doesn't seem like for the ECB deflation is really on the agenda at the moment. More so, it's about the strength of the euro, which is worrying for them. And that's also very worrying because the stronger the euro is, it could be detrimental for growth and inflation at the same time. So the way that we've read it over here is that Mario Draghi is again using his language to communicate to the market. It seems very likely that they will look to exhaust conventional monetary policies first, such as interest rate cuts, before they think that it's drastic enough, the situation is drastic enough for them to look at something which is unconventional, such as QE.
Inflation in the Eurozone is already way below the ECB's own target rate. If the ECB doesn't act now, when will it act?
Yeah, it's quite hard to tell when the ECB is going to act. We know that if the ECB keeps running inflation at a rate where their target is 2%, and if the inflation rate teeters around 0.5, which it is now to 0.7, we're running at low inflation, which is also as detrimental to the Eurozone recovery as deflation itself. So I would think that the ECB would probably be more enthused about looking at cutting the interest rate, or at least looking at a different measure by the time inflation drops to about 0.3%, and that would be very dangerous. I think the ECB are really letting it fall to the most absolute point they can before they look at a stimulus response.
That was Ishak Siddiqui speaking to me there earlier from London, and it seems as if the stock markets like the prospect of quantitative easing from the European Central Bank side, because European shares closed higher after Mario Draghi spoke in Frankfurt. It was a slightly different picture in London in comparison to Paris and Frankfurt, where we saw the indices close above the flat line. The London FTSE 100, though, below that flat line. In the United States, the markets have snapped a 4-session winning streak, and we saw them closing to the downside on Thursday, except for the Dow Jones, which closed completely flat. The focus very much now turning on to a labour market report, the latest unemployment figures from the United States. We're expecting that report on Friday. Let's look at a few other stories for you. Russia has effectively raised the gas price for Ukraine for a second time this week. The Russian government scrapped its last discount for Ukraine on Thursday, following on from another price hike on Tuesday. It means that Russia's Gazprom will now charge Ukraine 80% more than it did on Monday. Gazprom also says that Ukraine owes it $2.2 billion for previous gas shipments. Europe's biggest home improvement retailer is trying to beef up its position in France. Kingfisher already owns the brand Castorama, and now it's launched a takeover bid for the smaller rival Monsieur Bricolage. The potential deal looks set to attract scrutiny from antitrust regulators. This, as the combined group would hold around 45% of the French market. And we're going to finish up with this. Miley Cyrus could become collateral damage in the standoff between Russia and the West over Ukraine. A concert promoter in Finland says that lawyers are currently looking into whether the American pop star will have to cancel a gig in Helsinki in June. This as the concert venue is owned by 3 Russian individuals who are on a list of people subjected to asset freezes and travel bans. The United States outlined that list after Russia annexed Crimea last month. Justin Timberlake could also be affected. He's due to play at the same arena in May already. Okay, that'll be one to watch. What do you say, Mark?
Miley Cyrus and Justin Timberlake as collateral damage. What next?